The new Land Development Code amendment is going to change housing in Austin forever, and the city of Austin knows it. Because of that, they wanted to help the people get to understand the amendment better, so they had an open house for you to go learn about it. It's a chance for you to talk with the staff and learn about the amendment, and I got special privileges, and I got to talk with Andrea, who is the assistant director of the planning department and is the spokesperson for this code amendment, and I got to ask her direct questions about the amendment. And one of the first questions I asked her is, what are the amendments, resolutions, and what are the goals behind it? And here's what she had to say.
It really came from the council itself.
Okay.
So the amendments that are being considered this fall originated with 3 different council resolutions.
Okay.
One to eliminate the occupancy limits, or the limit on the number of unrelated adults who could live together. The second to change some of the requirements for the single-family zoning districts to allow additional units on properties with the SF1, SF2, and SF3 zones.
Okay.
And then the third to clarify the intent that tiny homes be allowed as a permanent dwelling unit and could count as one of the homes on a particular property. So all 3 of those originated with the city council in a resolution that set out their desires for what the code amendments would be and what they would accomplish. And then staff takes the proposal or develops a specific proposal for the code amendments out of the direction from those council resolutions.
So based off her response, there's 3 resolutions. 1 is to essentially allow tiny homes. 2, to remove the limit on unrelated adults in a household. And 3, the big one, which is allowing 3 units per lot for single family housing. And that's the one that is creating the most buzz and the biggest impact. And I was curious to ask her what were the goals behind that third one in particular. And based off my thoughts initially is because of how to help with housing supply and to help with affordability. And this is her response. I guess the question I'm asking is, what was the reason behind that one in particular? Like, is it just to help with like the housing supply or housing shortage?
I think that is one of council's primary goals. And so when you read the resolution and you hear council members speak about their hopes for this, there is a focus on providing additional opportunities for middle-income Austinites. With the ability to build additional units, you could potentially see smaller units, you could have a general increase in supply over time. And so by allowing the additional units on a lot and smaller units, you might see some market rate properties become more in reach for middle-income Austinites. There are additional benefits that the council has highlighted, like emphasizing the walkability and kind of creating the neighborhood form that's envisioned in Imagine Austin, allowing additional people to live near transit stops. But a lot of the focus has been on that housing choice and potentially creating a smaller, more affordable units, or giving people additional choices to make with their property if they wanted to have a unit for a family member or for rental income, just providing that flexibility.
That makes sense. Essentially, her answer is to basically allow flexibility for housing development and for homeowners. So I was curious about, could this have any negative impacts? Like, for example, now developers could tear down homes and build several units in single-family housing neighborhoods. And this is the feedback that I got from her. Like, single-family neighborhoods, it feels like it's changing it to a multifamily, so those neighborhoods are going to like fundamentally change potentially, because they're going to be developers that are going to want to like maybe tear down a home and then put like 3 different units, and that might happen like widespread through some of the major neighborhoods.
When I hear the council members consider this, I think one of the things to focus on is that not everything will change all at once, and that making the fundamental changes to what is allowed under the base zone creates flexibility without requiring anybody to build additional units or requiring really any change from the current conditions. And so I think that we'd be more likely to see additional units constructed over time rather than resulting in whole-scale change in a rapid way.
So based off hearing that answer, my thought is that it allows for flexibility, and the thought that people are worried about like single-family housing neighborhoods just disappearing is probably not going to just like happen overnight. I think this is something that like it just allows for more flexibility for developers and for homeowners, and this is something that's probably going to happen over time slowly. And that was the general feedback that I got from that. But I doubt that like just single-family neighborhoods are just going to disappear. I think it's just allowing for more flexibility, but I do believe it is slowly going to change Austin, and that's the reason why there's a lot of people interested in this amendment. So I had this interview on the open house, which was on, I think, on the 11th. So on November 14th, this is going to go to the Planning Commission, and they will vote on this, and if that vote goes through, then it will be recommended to City Council council, and they will vote on that December 7th. So watch out for those dates, and do me a favor, if you think this content is good, please like and subscribe, and I'm gonna keep following this out till we find out whether this gets approved or not. And so our next 2 dates are November 14th and December 7th. So I will keep you posted and let you know the progression of this amendment, because I think this amendment has a major impact on housing in Austin and land development in Austin as well. So I'm excited to see what comes of this.